Have any intentions of really trading any of them? I don't know if this is in the rules. I don't really care. But I think we've already discussed we are going to trade coaches. Fee's going to take her coach, Sandy Brondello. Let's get it. It's going to be amazing. Sorry, WNBA, if that's not in the rule. Sorry, ESPN, if that's not in the rules, but we just made it a rule. So, Sandy Brondello, come on over.
Whoa! The WNBA All-Star Game just delivered one of its most unforgettable moments, and it had nothing to do with points or rebounds. Caitlin Clark made headlines by making a historic and bold move, trading away her own coach, while fans were stunned, and Sabrina Ionescu's reaction quickly went viral. There was a deeper layer to the drama that many missed. This wasn't just a strategic basketball decision. It was Caitlin sending a powerful message that could send shockwaves throughout the entire league. The question now is, what was the real motivation behind this unexpected coach swap? Was it personal, political, or a statement of power? The conversation is just getting started. Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
Yeah, if that's not in the rule. Sorry, ESPN, if that's not in the rules, but we just made it a rule. So, Sandy Brondello, come on over.
Whoa!
Let's get to it. You can coach Sabrina. So therefore, maybe Stewie wants to come on over to my team.
Whoa.
Let me know. Fee, you want to give me Stewie?
We have breaking news here. I don't know that I've heard of a coach being traded in the All-Star game. This is something that you're agreeing to, Fee. There's no terms to this deal.
I agree with Cheryl. I agree with the trade. I love Cheryl. She's my coach here. And you know what? That's just going to be worse for Team Clark because now we got more chemistry on our side. We got more synergy. We know what we expect from each other. So that was a bad move on your part, Caitlin. We're taking you down.
Let's break down what really happened at the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game draft because, honey, this was far from a random trade. What unfolded was pure, calculated chaos. Every move seemed intentional, every decision layered with meaning. This wasn't just a playful draft moment, it was a power play disguised as strategy. And it shook the room. Caitlin Clark knew exactly what she was doing, and the ripple effects of that bold move are still being felt across the league.
Maybe it's going to be the X Factor. Okay. The coaches are maybe going to be the X Factor.
Hey, Sandy, defending champion, loves to shoot threes, lets her players get after it. I don't know. I'm feeling good with Sandy and Sabrina on my team. Like I said, if you want to send Stewie over too, I'll take her. So
what's the offer? What's the offer for Stewie?
What's the offer here?
Picture this. You're watching what's supposed to be a fun, lighthearted WNBA All-Star draft. And out of nowhere, Caitlin Clark drops a bombshell that stuns everyone in a historic first. She trades Cheryl Reeve for Sandy Brondello, the first player in league history to orchestrate a coach swap. The audacity? Absolute chef's kiss. But the real highlight came moments later when Sabrina Ionescu learned she'd be reunited with her New York Liberty coach, Sandy Brondello, on Team Clark. Her reaction? Pure gold. With a sly smirk, she delivered the now iconic line, "You can't escape me." It was playful, bold, and perfectly timed, so much so that you could practically hear the collective gasp from everyone watching.
What was your favorite play individually tonight with the 3 blocks and also the offense? What was your favorite play for you? And Coach, you may have been involved in the first ever coach trade of any All-Star game ever. Just want to get your thoughts on that in your mind. First for you, Leo.
They announced it? Yeah. That you got traded?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to go look at all that.
Traded?
I have no idea what the teams are.
Second time in history now. Jeez, as a player.
Let's be real, this move was anything but spontaneous. Caitlin Clark knew exactly what she was doing when she gave Cheryl Reeve the boot. This wasn't just a bold draft twist. It was a calculated decision rooted in a deeper backstory. The tension between Clark and Reeve isn't exactly a secret in the basketball world. Their history is far from warm and fuzzy. So when Clark made that swap, it wasn't just strategy. It was a statement. Everyone watching knew there was more beneath the surface.
And I got traded, yes. My son hit me up after he goes, I've created history. This is awesome. I got traded as a coach. But look, I get to coach with Sabrina. I'm on Caitlin Clark's in Indianapolis. I mean, what a great show. So we'll go out there and have some fun.
Remember when Caitlin Clark was snubbed from the Olympic roster? Yeah, Cheryl Reeve just so happened to be the head coach of Team USA at the time. That whole situation was messier than a preschooler's art project. To make matters worse, Reeve later made pointed comments about the WNBA's overwhelming focus on Clark, throwing some serious shade in broad daylight. So when Caitlin pulled off that all-star coach trade, it wasn't just about swapping sidelines. It was a statement. She essentially said, "You didn't want me on your Olympic team, then you don't get to coach me at the All-Star game either." The level of petty, absolutely legendary.
Andy at the All-Star game.
Right here, Benny. No, yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually very excited. It's never happened to me before, so this is the first time. Obviously, super comfortable being able to go there with a coach that loves me, and I'm really excited to be able to just kind of share that together. I mean, I think it's obviously an honor to be able to go with my teammate, but also the coaching staff and everyone. Like, it's a time to celebrate, obviously, our accomplishments, but hers as well. Like, it's not easy to be like a top coach and have to go do that. So I'm excited to kind of be able to spend that all together.
And then you're on Clark, and Brianna's obviously on Collier. Caitlin tried to trade for her at the end, but it fell through at the last minute. Are you guys going to make any deals or bets on the game between teammates, or what's that going to be like to be foes for a day?
It'll be weird. Maybe we'll just allow each other to trade off baskets and shoot. But no, I mean, the All-Star game is always fun. It's not that competitive, and it's just kind of, you get to go out there, enjoy, have fun, and just kind of celebrate the accomplishments. So I'm excited for all of us.
Now let's talk about how Sandy Brondello handled the entire situation, because that woman proved exactly why she's known as a class act. When she found out she'd been traded to coach Caitlin Clark's All-Star team, she was genuinely amused. In fact, her own son texted her to say she'd made history as the first coach ever traded in an All-Star format. Imagine getting that message. "Mom, you're famous for getting traded." The trade was approved live during the July 8th draft, which only amplified the drama. ESPN probably didn't know whether to panic or celebrate the ratings gold unfolded on live TV. And Caitlin, she stared into the camera and, with unmatched confidence and off-the-chart sass, declared, "Sorry, WNBA, if that's not in the rules. Sorry, ESPN, if that's not in the rules. But we just made it a rule. That's not just confidence, that's main character energy." Sabrina Ionescu's involvement took the entire spectacle to another level. She got picked by Clark for team. Clark, only to find out that her Liberty coach, Sandy Brondello, was coming with her. Her now iconic line, "You can't escape me," wasn't just playful banter, it was a wink to the synergy they built in New York. From Sabrina's perspective, this move was strategic brilliance. She's been working under Brondello all season, understands the system inside and out, and now gets to play on an all-star team stacked with talent under a coach who knows exactly how to bring out her best. But beyond the entertainment, the real story here is about player empowerment in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark, in just her second year as a pro, didn't wait for permission or follow tradition. She rewrote the rules of the All-Star game, live on national TV simply because she wanted to. She made a statement without asking and changed the narrative without blinking. That's the kind of disruptive energy that reshapes leagues. And the timing couldn't be more symbolic. We're in an era where athletes are speaking up, taking control of their careers, and challenging the systems around them. Caitlin Clark just took that movement to a whole new level. Caitlin Clark's bold coach trade wasn't just about personal history with Cheryl Reeve. It was about setting a precedent for player agency, even in exhibition games. Her move sparked ripple effects throughout the league, creating a dynamic shift that no one saw coming. Consider Nafisa Collier, who plays for Reeve's Minnesota Lynx. suddenly finding herself on the opposite team from her own coach. Talk about awkward. The whole scenario turned into a fascinating example of beautiful chaos loyalties were shuffled, relationships temporarily disrupted, and the traditional script of the All-Star game thrown out the window. The media response was just as split. Some outlets tried to brush it off as harmless fun, while others recognized it for what it truly was, a strategic power move, wrapped in playful theatrics. Caitlin Clark didn't just show she's an elite player, she revealed herself as a savage thinker who knows how to bend the system to her advantage. Sabrina Ionescu's reaction further highlighted the culture of the WNBA, where athletes aren't just fierce competitors, they're friends who understand and respect each other's games. Her now viral "You Can't Escape Me" comment wasn't. Hostile, it was a light-hearted nod to her ongoing partnership with coach Sandy Brondello and the mutual respect between them from a coaching perspective. Brondello's reaction spoke volumes. Thrust into a position where she had to lead players she'd never worked with before, including the most talked-about figure in women's basketball, she didn't flinch. Instead, she embraced the challenge with excitement and grace, proving why she's considered one of the league's top coaches. What made the entire moment even more memorable was Clark's nonchalant delivery. No speech, no theatrics, just as simple with trading coaches, like she was placing a coffee order. That casual confidence almost overshadowed the trade. Its self-doubt fan reactions, as expected, were polarizing. Clark's supporters hailed it as iconic, praising her for injecting excitement into a format that had grown stale. Reeve's defenders saw it as disrespectful, and basketball purists, they debated whether this move set a dangerous precedent for future All-Star events. But here's the truth. This kind of spontaneous, unscripted disruption is exactly what exhibition games need. Caitlin Clark didn't just make history, she made the All-Star game fun again. Sometimes it takes someone bold enough to break the mold to remind everyone why we tune into sports in the first place. Caitlin Clark did exactly that, and having Sabrina Ionescu as a central figure made the moment even more powerful. Sabrina isn't just another player, she's one of the most respected talents in the league. Her reaction carried weight because she's earned the credibility to speak on moments like this. Zooming out, this entire episode perfectly captures the current landscape of the WNBA. Rising stars like Clark are reshaping the conversation. Veterans like Ionescu are adapting to a new wave of influence. And seasoned coaches like Sandy Brondello are navigating these shifts with professionalism and grace. Sabrina's "You Can't Escape Me" comment underscored the deep connections within the WNBA community. These women aren't just rivals, they're friends, teammates, and colleagues with bonds that stretch beyond team lines. That line wasn't just about basketball. It was an acknowledgement of a shared journey, a mutual respect cultivated over years of playing, training, and growing together. What began as a routine All-Star draft quickly evolved into a broader story about player empowerment, evolving coach-player dynamics, and the cultural momentum building in women's basketball. One unexpected trade sparked a media firestorm, igniting weeks of commentary, debate, and celebration. The timing couldn't have been more dramatic, coming on the heels of Olympic roster controversies and debates over coaching decisions. Caitlin's move added fuel to an already heated conversation. Beneath her decision lay unresolved tension, lingering resentment, and a hunger to challenge the status quo. Yet, through it all, Sandy Brondello's professionalism stood out. She could have taken offense at being treated like a draft asset, but instead she embraced the moment with humility and humor. Her comment about her son texting her revealed not just a personal connection, but a recognition of the historical weight behind what had happened. Ultimately, this moment reflected broader changes happening across sports. Athletes today are more vocal, more strategic, and more assertive about shaping their environments. Caitlin Clark's coach swap wasn't just about old grudges. It was about creating the best possible setting for success, even in an exhibition game. It was a signal that in the new era of the WNBA, players are no longer just participants, they're architects of the narrative. The media's handling of the coach trade drama was almost as entertaining as the trade itself. Reporters scrambled to determine whether the move was even legal. Announcers tried to unpack its implications on live TV, and social media absolutely exploded. It was chaos in the best possible way. Sabrina Ionescu's role in the unfolding story became particularly fascinating. Initially just a bystander, she was suddenly thrust into the spotlight due to her existing relationship with coach Sandy Brondello, but Sabrina immediately understood the gravity of the moment. This wasn't just about swapping coaches, it was about team chemistry, competitive advantage, and the growing influence of player voices in shaping league culture. The ripple effects of Caitlin Clark's bold move will likely be felt for years. All-Star games going forward will have to account for the possibility of similar shakeups. Players now know they have more agency than ever before, and coaches are beginning to realize that even in exhibition settings, their relationships with players matter deeply. What truly made the moment resonate was how authentic everyone's reactions felt. Caitlin's boldness wasn't performative, it was pure, unapologetic confidence. Sabrina's "you can't escape me" comment wasn't scripted, it was the kind of natural, perfectly timed response that only happens in real, unscripted moments. And Sandy Brondello's genuine amusement, especially her anecdote about her son texting her, showed she understood the historic and humorous side of being the first coach traded mid-draft. In a sports world often saturated with over-curated social media personalities, this moment felt refreshingly real and spontaneous strategically. The trade also made perfect basketball sense. Sabrina and Sandy already had chemistry built through their time with the Liberty, a dynamic that could easily translate into on-court success. Meanwhile, Caitlin gained the chance to work with a coach who had no preconceived biases or limitations about her game. It was a calculated move, not a petty one-proof that sometimes the boldest decisions are the smartest ones. The situation also underscored the different personalities involved. Caitlin's fearless drive, Sabrina's quick-witted adaptability, and Sandy's professional poise. It's this mix of boldness, humor, and leadership that not only made for compelling television, but also elevated the game itself. Looking back through the lens of sports history, this trade already ranks among the most iconic spontaneous moments. The difference here, it all happened live, with cameras rolling and social media watching in real time. There were no takebacks, no editing, just raw, unfiltered sports drama. What made it even more compelling was that it stemmed from real tension. The dynamic between Caitlin Clark and Cheryl Reeve wasn't manufactured drama, it was rooted in actual decisions, Olympic snubs, and public comment. When personal history and professional stakes collide on a public stage, you get moments like this unscripted, unforgettable, and emotionally charged. Sabrina played the perfect supporting character in the drama, her humor adding just the right amount of levity to keep the moment from becoming too intense. Her now iconic quote will likely go down as one of the most memorable spontaneous lines in WNBA history. Meanwhile, Sandy Brondello found herself in a truly unique coaching situation, leading players she'd never worked with while facing her former team and longtime collaborators. In a league where professional relationships are deeply interconnected, these moves create incredibly rich dynamics. What's perhaps most impressive is how gracefully all parties handled the situation. Despite the underlying tensions, everyone maintained professionalism while still letting their personalities shine. That's the sign of a mature league filled with athletes and coaches who understand both the competitive and entertainment value of the game. In many ways, This incident captured the essence of where women's basketball is right now. A moment of transformation, empowerment, and unapologetic